Well, it's the middle of May and it's time to do a follow-up on my, I'm going to call it my amazing tomato experiment. It wasn't my idea. I found it on the internet. It was where I bury a bucket in the ground here. I use a 15-gallon black potting bucket, and I put holes up high and holes down low. I put another one over here. Those are cherry tomatoes. These are Better Boy over here. Here's one with a 5-gallon bucket. You can see it's fairly large. And these are my control plants over here. This one was planted at the same time. This one came up afterwards all on its own. But they all got the same amount of watering like I normally do. This one's clearly half the size of this one. And this one. And this one over here is considerably larger. All these over here are the same. So just in the deep watering aspect of this process, I say it was a real win-win. My tomatoes are doing amazingly well. This is the experiment. As you can see, I'm doing things. I put a 15-gallon pot in the ground over here, and I fill that up with water. I've got 4 standard sized tomatoes here, and this one over here is all the cherry tomatoes. And I planted all these at the same time. This one down here, it does not have a pot. You can see it's about half the size of even these other guys over here. And for some reason the cherry tomatoes have just exploded. They're taking off really good. I put chicken manure and some compost down in here. And furthermore, I timed it early. I planted my tomatoes in March, which is a little bit early. And one of my neighbors over here who's using this spot, he planted his tomatoes just recently, last week, and it's good that they're in the ground. I went ahead and I'm doing another experiment. I'm mulching just this one tomato of his. I mulched all the way around. So I'm going to see if just that one plant grows faster than the rest of them, with everything being equal except for the mulch. Mulch on top. It's not worked into the soil, it's just on top to help minimize drying out of the soil and help benefit the root zone. Just got rid of all my favas, pulled all those up, and I'm going to save some of them. Nice little pile here. I've been eating them all along. I'm going to leave these to dry out. That's what they look like when they're dried out. Some of these are still fresh. I can still eat these, and they're really quite good. I like them raw. A lot of people don't. They're a little bitter. They're more like a lima bean, but they're really good for you. A lot of things going on in the garden right now, but it needs help. There's a lot of areas that are a little bit overgrown. A lot of areas going to seed. Been eating a lot of lettuce out of the garden, and as you can see, a lot of it's going to seed. I like to leave a lot of it go to seed because I harvest the seeds. I get a lot of them. And the 2 lettuce plants I like the most here, the curly leaf and the butter lettuce, there are still heads that are ready for eating, and I will continue to eat them as I go. But once they start getting a little bit taller, they get a little bitter. So great for the chickens if you have too many, but got to keep planting them. And the lettuce seems to come up almost year-round. There's a few blueberries in here coming up just now. This is fairly new for us. Oh yeah, good, good, good. And we got some snow peas. It's getting a little hot for them, but they're still hanging in there. Nothing like fresh snow peas in the garden. Oh yeah. This bed needs help. I just pulled out everything out of this bed, except for one kale. This is the red Russian kale. Got a couple of heads of lettuce here. I'll probably pull those out. A few things are going to seed. Sandy wanted flowers, so we've got sweet peas going all over the place. They get out of hand. So if you like sweet peas, be careful. They can overwhelm you, because they have us. Sweet peas everywhere. It was just from a few plants, and they've exploded all over the place. They reseed themselves quite easily. Got a lot of Swiss chard in here. Some of it's going to seed. Got some bok choy. Nice thing about the Swiss chard is even when it gets really big, its leaves taste good even when it gets close to going to seed. It doesn't get bitter like a lot of other plants. So let them grow, let them get big. Just keep harvesting them. You can see we keep pulling leaves off of this one and eating on it all the way along, and they'll keep going for a long, long time. The one sunflower that popped up on its own, hopefully that'll become a giant. That's where we're at. How's your garden doing?